Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a new book that humanizes the atrocities often seen in the news headlines, telling the stories of refugees who now make Oregon their home. We welcome the author of I Live to Tell the World, Elizabeth Mehren, along with one of those featured in the book, Saron Khut. Good to have you both with us. Elizabeth, let me start with you, though, and tell me about I Live to Tell the World. Who do you feature, and why write the book in the first place?
Why write the book in the first place? I work with a Portland-based nonprofit called The Immigrant Story, and the goal was really to sort of normalize what had become a very toxic conversation around newcomers to America.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And gradually the stories began to expand, and we began kind of inadvertently collecting these stories of people who had survived just
unimaginable things. Yes.
Unimaginable.
Yeah.
And my colleague from The Immigrant Story is very, very persuasive, and he said, we should write a book. I said, yeah, right, we should write a book. So we did.
Yeah, you did. And you're going to be talking about that book, and I want people to know there are some amazing stories. Saron, your story is incredible. Tell me a little bit about your story so our audience understands what you went through as a child.
Yeah, so, when I was 5, the Khmer Rouge took over Cambodia, and they killed over 1.5 million people in less than 3 years, right? And my father was one of them.
You and your family was set to leave,
right.
But your dad was concerned about his mom.
Yes, so right before the Khmer Rouge took over on April 17, my family was we were about to leave because we're not that far away from Thailand, right? But he decided that, because grandma was not well, and she's old, and so he decided, like, no, we're just gonna stay back, and that was not a good thing for him. Yeah.
And so your father was basically taken out of his home.
Right. In the middle of the night, they came and took him, and because he was a teacher.
And they wanted to take the intellectuals, right? He was a teacher. Also, was he an artist as well?
He was an artist. He was the teacher. He was pretty much everything.
Yeah.
The man of the town, because everybody knows him. And so they took him outside the town and they beat him to death.
Elizabeth, you wanted to say something.
Well, he was a performer as well, and Saron inherited that. Saron's a very gifted musician himself. So.
And then how did you end up in the States and specifically here in Oregon?
Yes. So my uncle, who escaped early during the Khmer Rouge time, he immigrated here to Portland. And so when we escaped in 1980, he found out that we were still alive, so he sponsored us here.
And got you here. I understand the only English you knew was like a Christmas song.
Yeah. Yes. So it was I think it was December in the refugee camps, and they were prepping us to come to the United States. And they got us singing Jingle Bell, and
and that was the only English phrase you knew.
Yes.
But over time, then you became, obviously you're fluent now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, music is one of the things that I use to help me learn languages.
Yeah.
I learned English through music during the 80s. I love music. I listened to Michael Jackson, Beat It, Survivors, Eye of Tigers, and Bryan Adams, one of my favorite artists. I would sing along, mimicking the words, and that's how I got to where I am at right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doing really well.
Thank you.
We want to tell me a little bit more about some of the other stories, because I know there's the Rwandan.
Yeah, the story. Well, this is Genocide Awareness Month, so it's a good time to talk about that. The stories range from the Nazi Holocaust to the present, some of the present conflicts going on at this moment, but they also include Rwanda, and we obviously. Which was another one of those just
horrific,
unthinkable events. We have
that's the 30th anniversary of the...
Yeah, Sunday is the 30th anniversary of the onset of the Rwandan genocide. And we have actually the title of the book comes from Emmanuel Touraturanye, who drives a bus for TriMet, and is, of course, has 2 degrees from universities in Rwanda.
Wow.
And is, when I asked him why he thought that he and his little sister, who he rescued, had managed to survive the genocide that killed his very large and extended Tutsi family, he said, I think I lived in order to tell the world. And Saron said the same thing to me when when I asked him whether this was re-traumatizing to talk about things, and I was worried about that, when I asked him whether, why he wanted to tell a story, and what he said to me was, I couldn't wait to tell my story, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he wanted the world to know.
Yeah.
People don't know. In America, we lead very comfortable
We are so
lives.
spoiled. When I hear stories like Saron's or any other story like that, I just think, how did you make it and how are you so positive in the world?
Well, that's one of
Right?
the interesting things is the lessons from all of these people.
What are the lessons
The
from
lessons
some of these?
are persistence, determination, never a moment, never an ounce of self-pity, ever. And if ever anybody had a right to have self-pity,
Right.
but never any self-pity. I think also a courage, determination, fortitude,
Right.
and always a sense of hope. But I think there's also very often kind of that sort of black humor that kind of, that gets you through things. You probably had that too, Saron.
Yes, yes.
Moments when the only thing you can do is laugh.
Right? Saron, you were involved in so many things. I guess I understand that you started out, you were really good in basketball, like your father was, right? And then music, entertainment. Tell me more. Now you have a restaurant.
And a band.
And a band.
So yeah, well, you know,
You're a golfer.
I try to be the best at what I like to do.
Right.
And so, yeah, so, you know, I was an athlete during high school, and then I blew my knees out, and then now I am an avid golfer. I golf a lot, and yeah, and then on top of that, I love my communities. I love people.
You have an event, New Year's in the Park.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So April 27th is our 10th anniversary, 10th year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
New Year's in the Park Festival. It's Glenhaven Park, which is northeast 82nd and Siskiyou.
Okay.
We usually have like 10,000 people at
Wow.
the event.
Yeah.
And it's free, and it's New Year months. So this is the month of April is Cambodian, Lao, Thai, Burmese, Indonesian
Wow.
New Year.
Wow.
So we are celebrating that all together on one day.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that your mom had a really big influence on you. Talk about courageous and all that she's been through. She's trying to make sure you learn how to cook your food.
Yes.
Right? Her way, her recipes, her way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yes. When I opened the restaurant, Mekong Bistro, I didn't know how to cook. Yeah.
So open a restaurant.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I said, Mom, I'm going to open a restaurant. She's like, you don't even know how to cook. Yeah. I said, I know, but you do.
Yeah.
And so she's like our main cook for the restaurant. But now she's old, she's retired.
She wants to make sure you know all those recipes.
So she would teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like, I'm trying to write it down. It's like, no, don't write it down. Just feel it, right?
Oh.
Do it. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm almost there.
Well,
but I'm still working on it.
You have an amazing story. The book, again, is called I Live to Tell the World. And we want to tell everyone you have a book event, and that's on Sunday at Powell City of Books on 10th and West Burnside. We're going to put all the information for everyone on our website at k2.com. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Helen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story, too.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.